Hey everyone, my name is Chris Lambert. I co host the Kanye West podcast, Watching the Throne. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about this. CyHi the Prynce says he's working on new albums with Kanye West for end of summer, which is huge because it confirms multiple albums and it confirms kind of a timeline. Though with Kanye and timelines, you never fucking know. We thought we were going to be getting Yandi in September and then October and then December and yada, yada, yada. So we'll see. But I'm excited again because it at least gives us another target that at least we know that they're planning towards or planning for. So let's look into the article and what's being said. This was by Tony Centino on XXL. And you get this quote from CyHi, and we'll get into some background information on CyHi for anybody unfamiliar. But the gist of it is he's been a longtime collaborator since 2010 with Kanye, involved in every album, maybe not always getting credits on songs, but consistently part of the process. The world famous Tony Williams is similar. He's been with Kanye since College Dropout and just adding a vibe and energy to the room and participating in the project in some capacity. And CyHi is very much in a similar place. So when we look at what's going on, we see CyHi saying, "Me and Kanye are working on a few albums, so you'll be getting them by the end of the summer. Also my solo album as well. So I've just been collecting all my pieces on the game board, so when I present it, everybody sees it in a beautiful light. This is going to be 5 times better than my first album." Yeah, first album was No Dope on Sundays, came out in 2017, and was long anticipated, right? Because we first started hearing about CyHi in 2010, and to finally get his first album in 2017, a lot of people were like, finally. And it did all right. It got some critical praise. It charted, but I don't think it did quite as well as people might have expected given the build-up and the association with Kanye. I think on the Billboard charts, it got to 68, which solid, but not, I think, what you would hope for. So saying that it's going to be 5 times better than his first album, I think there's just that anticipation and excitement that it's going to, break top 10. It's going to be number one when it comes out. So let's see. I'm looking to do 3 albums in the next 14 months, which I think part of that is probably with Kanye. While he's not putting together his own, when he's not putting together his own musical works, the Stone Mountain, Georgia rhymer is transferring his creative energy to whatever projects he's helping Kanye create. It may include Kanye's own upcoming album, Yandi. CyHi is taking on the role of songwriter. A lot of people don't know, but I do a lot of songwriting. I just help, explains CyHi. I feel like I don't really write songs. I really just help artists kind of convey their message that they want to convey to the world. CyHi doesn't get specific about which artist projects he and Kanye are working on. He says he can't disclose the identities of the folks involved, but he does confirm that he's helping out with Yeezy's solo album, which may or may not be Yandi. You just never know. We're going to get TurboGrafx 16. At one point, we're going to get Spring, Summer, Winter, Fall. So help me God. Titles always change. Yandi's such a good title that I think we're all kind of attached to it and hope it stays, but who knows? We'll see. He also says he and Kanye are planning to follow a rollout plan similar to the one used for the spring of 2018. These were the Wyoming projects, Daytona, Yay, Kids See Ghost, Nazir, and Keep That Same Energy. You may remember they all came out a week apart from each other, dominating the month of June, which was pretty awesome to see. And if Kanye's returning to that format and that method, I think that would make sense to me with how much everything else he has going on with fashion and development and architecture and design. It would make sense to me that he kind of works on music and just each year knows that he has this period when he's going to be releasing things. And CyHi's not the first person to kind of mention similar to the Wyoming releases. I think there were a few other people in Kanye's camp that had mentioned about potentially going back out to Wyoming. And maybe this has been the plan for a while. Like, the thing we did last year, let's just go ahead and do that again. What else? While CyHi doesn't say whether his work with Ye will end up on the highly anticipated Yandi or his own solo LP, he does confirm that we should be getting new music in less than 3 months. And as I take deep breaths, Irv Gotti, who has a show on BET, Tales, also announced that there's going to be a new Kanye song coming out July 2nd. So this would seem to line up with what CyHi's saying, that there's just music that's going to be at least rolling out finally. And the first one of those songs might be on July 2nd. It could be a one-off. It could be part of the larger projects. We'll see, but music. We're getting music. So a bit more about CyHi. Real name, Sidel Charles Young. He is in his 30s, grew up in Georgia, and he first gained major attention in 2010 with, whatchamacallit, Good Fridays. And this was a detail I hadn't known before. He reports that American singer Beyonce, a friend of West and the wife of his mentor Jay-Z, convinced Kanye West to sign him to his Good Music imprint, which is cool. And you may remember the story, well, before we get there, if you look at here, these are the Good Friday songs that he was a part of. Take One for the Team, Looking for Trouble, Christmas in Harlem, and So Appalled. And you may remember the story that CyHi wasn't supposed to be on So Appalled. He was just in the studio and there when everything else was going on. So this is how he said, people don't know that. I kind of cheated. Can you think of something? Kanye asked him, can you think of something to write on the hook? I peeped he was kind of sleepy at the time, so he went to sleep, went to the room or something. I stayed in the studio and said, I'm not going to just do no hook, I'm going to do my verse. So while West was fast asleep, CyHi grabbed the mic and went to work in the booth. I did a verse and didn't tell him the verse was on there, and I hit it. Making his move. He was playing the album for some very important musicians, and he played the song. He don't know my verse is going to come up, and everybody in the room goes bananas. He said, I got to keep it. Which I can just imagine Kanye, like, it might be a little risky. You can imagine Kanye being like, what did you do to my music? Or Kanye just being like, yo, nice shot. So he said, I'm more popular than what I think I am. I be trying to do normal stuff. I'm from the streets too. So I might be in a place and people staring at you. I'm thinking they're going to rob me or do harm to me. All they want to know is this CyHi? I love your stuff. So this was back in 2010. Wow. 10/20/2010. So this is an old ass article, but that story, I think, for people that know CyHi, that know more of the history of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, is one of those beloved tales of just like, yeah, man, you do what you got to do. And you can see there was a little bit of drama between CyHi and Kanye in 2015. He released a song called Elephant in the Room, and it had the lines, while you're in your little Lambo on Sunset, I'm riding with a gun next to me, and it sounds like a little boy playing with a drum set, and it holds 100 rounds because when you come around, guys quick to gun you down. And I remember a period of people being like, oh, CyHi's so pissed that like Good Music fucked him over with delaying his album. And it would be the first time that Good Music's been accused of delaying artists' albums. Pusha T's album took forever to come out. Teyana's album took forever to come out. CyHi's, who else? We haven't heard much from Big Sean. It just seems like a lot of people with Good Music have very long and deliberate album releases. So it made sense that CyHi might be a bit pissed off at the time, but he would clarify that it wasn't a diss, and then it turned out that the album was still on Good Music and everything. So there was a lot of confusion around that time. So maybe you had heard about that and thought, like, what happened? And it seems like not much, or whatever did happen, he and Kanye found whatever middle ground they needed to find, and things have been okay since. You can see that he was nominated for multiple Grammys for New Slaves, Bound 2, All Day, Famous, Ultra Light Beam, and Sicko Mode. So CyHi has gotten some good songwriting credits thanks to Kanye, and thanks to his own ability. I think a lot of people have given praise to CyHi as being one of the ones that has helped this kind of next wave of Kanye post-graduation since My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, just taking his lyricism to another place. That was one of the things with No Dope on Sundays, that a lot of people really were praising the lyrical ability and just the complexity of the lyrics that CyHi had. You can see Hip Hop DX gave it a good review. Hot New Hip Hop gave it an 87%. XXL gave it an XL. So people are going to be excited, I think, about this new music, and it's just cool to hear somebody that collaborates so closely with Kanye say that, yeah, this is when the music's coming out. So fingers crossed, let's hope. And I guess that's it. If you're enjoying the content on the channel and you want to support us, the easiest way is just to like and subscribe. which is the typical call to action on YouTube, but it really does go a long way to telling YouTube that this is content people are enjoying, and then they feature it more, they put it more on display on homepages and as recommendations, which gets us more views, which really helps a lot. So much appreciated if you take the time for that. And if you have any requests for content, go ahead and leave it down below. Otherwise, stay wavy, keep it loopy, and we will talk soon. See ya.